This is Sam Sawyer and Tyler Buskey's AP Stat project on attendance at school sports. We started by creating a simple random sample of the teachers at Leesville by using a random number generator and using it to select 6 teachers to ensure enough data points, assuming each class has around 25 students. Our survey asked students their grade, gender, and which sports that they have attended at LRHS while they have been attending. Our problem statement was that we wanted to determine which school sports that students attend the most and if different variables affect the sports people attended and how often. For background research, we could not find any prior research on our topic, but we believe if there had been prior research, the results would have been close to the results that we found. Some things that could be different with a more professional study is that they could have more accurate findings as they could use a larger sample size, maybe students outside the state or the other counties to the state, and more accurately represent students by having each grade represented evenly. So for the study, we created a simple random sample of all the teachers in Leesville Road High School by going in the faculty directory and numbering them from top to bottom, and then we use a random number generator to select 6 random numbers which represent a teacher, and then we create our survey and distributed them to the respective teachers. After we had received the answers back from the teachers, we created a spreadsheet and loaded and put all of our data into that spreadsheet so we could look at the data easier. Our target audience is all of the Leesville Road High School students, and we wanted to see which sporting event is the most attended. We also wanted to see if different variables affected the results. So this is our survey. As you can see, we gave the students the option of selecting their gender, male or female, what grade level they're in, 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th, and listing any sport they have attended at LRHS. Our first graph is just the attendance per sport of all the responses that we got. So football games had the most with 128. Basketball games second most with 77, and soccer games third most with 49. Our second graph is just the difference between male and female attendance at football games. You can see that males had 4 more students respond that they attend football games than females did, so not much of a difference. For our significance test, we ran a 2 proportion z-test because we wanted to see whether males attended more sports than females. We chose football because many of the other sports tended to be outliers with little attendees, so we wanted to get the most amount of data we could so we could evenly represent both genders with the least amount of bias. And yeah, so we wanted to test a claim about the true proportion difference between the number of men and women who attended football games at LRHS. Our null was that males and females attend football games the same amount, and our alternative was males attend football games more than females. We ended up with a z-score of 0.6257, which gives you a p-value of 0.2657. Since 0.2657 is greater than 0.05, we failed to reject the null at the 5% significance level. Therefore, we had enough evidence to say that the true proportion of males at LRHS doesn't attend more football games than the true proportion of females. Some weaknesses of our study said we weren't able to have an even distribution of students from each grade level because we could not do an SRS while getting an even distribution of classes, which caused us to have no freshmen and barely any sophomores in our data, which became a confounding variable as upperclassmen are more likely to attend games than lowerclassmen, so the data could be biased towards upperclassmen data points. So we would be comfortable extending this to other high school students in North Carolina because they could have similar preferences to us, but we would not be comfortable extending to anybody outside the state because they could have different preferences than us in sports. They could be more or less school spirited, or yeah. So if further research was to be done, they should use larger samples in different states so they can get a variety of opinions on the type of sport and frequency of visits. Also, they should have a more detailed list of the exact classes to ensure that they have an even distribution of the 4 grades to get more accurate results. So, in conclusion, we found that basketball and football were the most attended sports by far, which supported our first hypothesis. But our second hypothesis that men would attend more football games than women did not have enough of a significant difference to prove our point. But by simply looking at the evidence, men attended only slightly more football games than women did. So, yeah, that was our presentation, and thank you for listening.